Here is another quick 9 playthrough here on the channel for you all. The date and the divisions, of course, shown on screen in the thumbnail. Remember to hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Timestamps in the description down below, and remember the replays here are from old tournaments, so use the old ball attribute levels, which have now, of course, doubled. Hope you're enjoying Quick 9. Good luck, and remember to tweak according to your clubs and balls and wind angles. Here we go. On this par 4 we need to try and get to green off the tee. In the example here I'm going with 4 top spin and 3 bars side spin to the left, stretching out here with a power 2 ball just to find my position where the second bounce is deliberately in the rough just before the halfway point on that fairway island, because the tailwind is going to push me further with that second bounce. Obviously in headwind I would recommend you go with a power 3 plus ball and play with more topspin if you can. In this wind angle I go max plus 30, and then I push up the amount of rings that I was using to stretch out to find my position. In my case it was about 1.5 rings. Then I'm going to take my shot. You will always need 3 bars of left spin, or maybe 2, in which case if you've only got 2 available you need to play with more left curl. But we want to swing this ball around to the left so the second bounce is on this little patch of fairway, hops over the rough and rolls nicely onto the green or onto the fringe area for a very simple eagle, wedge or putt. With this par 3 I would recommend you go with the Grizzly for ball guide and accuracy. I'm playing with 2 bars of right spin to set up as far away from the water as possible, and in the end with this wind angle a little bit of backspin, half a bar. I find my position with the ball guide 1 green square through the hole because of the slight headwind angle, and then to get the required offset rather than adjust a load of rings I take away a lot of the side spin. So in the end I leave myself with half a bar side spin to the right, because that's going to give me the offset that I need. Obviously in tournament scenarios you need to tweak your spin setup, but this gives you an idea of where you want to bounce and what spins you might need. I would always go with the right spin when you are setting up initially, because you don't want to really adjust into the water or land too close to the boundary. Max plus 20 is the adjustment here. A very nice flat piece of fairway to bounce on. Obviously your offset will vary depending on your wind angle, but as a general play here we drop that nicely for the hole in 1. On this par 5 I would suggest you play down the right hand side of the water, 4.5 top spin and 3 bars side spin to the left, stretching out a little bit here with the extra mile level 8. Obviously if you've got APOC 5 plus you won't need to go with as much overpower, but I want to push this drive. The alternate thing is of course to play with 6 bars at top spin if you have it. That would reduce the amount of overpower that you need. This will set up a very nice long iron approach for the albatross. Max plus 10 is the adjustment. That's the same that I would make in all wind angles here playing this route. Of course there are more aggressive routes down the left hand side if you want to go full blast. Try and get yourself a lot nearer to the pin if you've got a good tailwind, especially up in expert. Here you can see I'm going with the amount of overpower needed depending on what I couldn't push up, because I was stretching out a few rings. Plenty of curl to the left as well. We could maybe go with a bit more curl, but we're still on the fairway. Around 375 yards is going to be absolutely fine. For the second shot I'd play with the Grizzly for ball guide and accuracy. You're going to need around 3.5 to 4 backspin depending on the wind angle that you've got. Here I'm using right spin to offset deliberately to the right of the pin because the wind angle, as you can see, is going to push me to the left. Setting up in between the bunkers, medium distance of club, 20% elevation. This is something we could use drive distance notes for in a tournament scenario. Depending on the wind angle, of course, you could take a token or two, build up some yardage notes, use the slider, help you drop some more shots. But generally, mid plus 20 was working nicely here. I'm not adjusting down off the platform, which isn't going to cause me to lose distance, so that's something to factor in as well. You might want to start a little bit further up in tailwind so that you're not pulling yourself off that platform and into the water with your aim. Mid plus 20 here with that offset. On this par 3 the rough bump is the way forward. Sniper 9 plus is needed here. Sniper 8 is possible, but you need to set up quite close to the edge of the rough. Because there's a slight headwind angle here, I'm having the ball guide comfortably through the hole, about 2 green squares. We don't need anything more than a navigator in Pro, because we don't need a massive amount of side spin. 1 bar is fine. It's going to be about 4 top spin, and you can see 1 left spin. In Expert, of course, a Kingmaker is always good to cut the wind angle down, the wind strength down. Mid plus 0, power 1 settings in my case. Obviously, you might need different adjustments in different wind angles, but this shows you the type of shot that you want to play, really, for the hole-in-one. The rough bump, cutting out the second bounce, wind effect, is going to be your best opportunity at the drop. Please do join us over on Facebook. We have an ever-growing community of players there. Over 16,000 members. Head over to Facebook, search for BK Golf Clash and submit your member request there. Free to join. There are free guides posted, lots of shot sharing and discussion points. You can chat and interact with me as well, and loads more over on Facebook. So head over there and search for BK Golf Clash. On to the next hole here, and we're going to lay up with the quarterback or the rock. So nice consistent drive. Max plus 10 is going to be the adjustment here. Red ring touching the rough, plus 3 yards with quarterback 9 and 10, plus 7 with QB 7 and 8. We don't need much topspin at all here. Might need to tweak it depending on the wind angle, but you will always need 2 bars or 3 bars side spin to the right. We're going to also play with curl as well. You'll see I use about 0.8 ball curl to the right. Like I said, quarterback or the rock is ideal here because you want accuracy, ball guide and curl. But I favour laying up, as I do here, to the end of that first piece of fairway. Second shot here, we're going to play with a wood club. I would recommend the sniper for ball guide and accuracy. True club distance, 5% elevation would be my general suggestion, and that's what I use in the video. I'm going with a no spin approach here with this tailwind angle. Obviously, if there's headwind in this scenario, you'd need a bit of top spin, set up with a ball guide around a green square to 2 green squares through the hole. You might need to increase your elevation with a level crosswind as well. It's one of those you're going to have to judge for yourself. But as this course is fairly flat, really you're just adding elevation to get rid of any second bounce wind effect. So I'd play probably 10 or 15 in crosswind, but I reckon 5 is good for headwind and tailwind from my initial setups. Slight tweak needed here, we just burn the edge, but that is a very good opportunity in all wind angles for the Albatross. Par 4 here, and this is going to be drivable in most wind angles. You want as much top spin as possible, really, and 2 bars side spin to the left. The Berserker will help you because it's going to give you a controlled overpower needle speed. Stretching out and finding my position. This fairway down the right-hand side does veer off to the right, so we're going to use the left spin. We're going to use left curl as well. Max plus 20 is the adjustment here. Then once I've done that, even with APOC 4, going to push up not to max. We're going to go a total of 10 yards. Would be less with APOC 5. This is really going to be an excellent chance. Thor's hammer will work. Big topper will work as well. You might need to push up more though. Half a ball of curl to the left. It's a slightly slower needle. It will vary depending on your club distance. But the idea is to bounce in the middle of the fairway and drive down here to the fringe or the green. Chance of getting a hole in one there if you've got the equipment and the top spin for it. Final par 3 now. The rough bump again is the way to play, and there's a lot of rough to aim at here. You can see I'm boxing in the red ring, touching the bunker on the left, the rough line on the right, adding spin because we've got headwind here. I'm going with the ball guide considerably through the hole. Max top spin with sniper level 9. So I'm finding my position first, adding spin. Might need to tweak the aim depending on your wind angle. Would definitely need less topspin in tailwind. Make sure if you've got tailwind, you'd have the ball guide slightly short of the cup. But in this wind angle, mid plus 0, power 3 settings, working very nicely indeed. Minor great on either side would be safe, especially as you've got all of the red ring inside the rough on both sides. So for me, the rough bump is going to be the way to go. It's not risky in the slightest. Excellent chance with the flat lay of the land here to get this one in the hole for the hole in one. And that's what we do in this example. If you are enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to help out and keep everything free, then please consider making a small donation. All donations are gratefully received and help me out here on the channel, as all of the content here is produced for free in my own spare time. You can do that in one of three ways. You can hit the thanks button here on YouTube, you can make a PayPal donation via the link in the description down below, or you can also join us over on Patreon. Details at the end of the video. Slightly trickier par 4 here. I want to play aggressive down the right hand side if possible for the best attempt. If you've got headwind, I would recommend you investigate left side, but you're going to have a lengthy approach shot and you will need to clear the tree that is in the way. So if you can, bounce on this island with top spin and right spin, aiming in the middle of the island here, max distance power 2 ball. So even with a power 3 ball in slight headwind, you should be okay without needing too much overpower. APOC 5 plus obviously is always an advantage. Max plus 10, going with outer wall curl to the right. And the outcome here, if you've got more tailwind angle, you could get into max distance with your short iron and a power 3 ball. But otherwise it's going to be the grizzly here. We're not going too far. Drive distance here is going to be around 360. A chance to push it a lot further though if you wanted to. And here I'm going to play true club distance. I actually count rings from min, which you didn't see in this replay, but my alternate first attempt was counting rings from min. Put the tweak in here, but it's TC on the notepad, so that means true club distance. You can find the min line, you can find the max line, and estimate where your first bounce is going to be, and then adjust your slider accordingly. Obviously in tournament scenario, we might be able to do a pin check or a white ring pin check. Get dialed in, because you can't really use yardage notes because the hole isn't linear. But the setup here is going to be blue ring touching the rough, backspin around 3 bars depending on your wind angle, offset of course if you've got crosswind. Here I'm playing 15% elevation because that is going to affect the second bounce a little bit more, but it is tweakable and a very good chance playing right side to grab the eagle on this par 4. As you can see, we've got an unobscured view of the pin. Perfect ball away here. This was around 25% slider if I remember correctly, and we just sneaked that one in there, dropping it nicely for the eagle. Final hole here. This par 5 is tough, and this is a tough wind angle which I've picked deliberately to show you how to get a nice eagle even with a nasty wind. 6 top spin, 3 left spin. I would favour top spin here. If you have the extra mile 8 plus, it is going to be an advantage. Setting up here at +1, yellow ring touching the rough. I'm adjusting max +20, even though I'm not at max distance of club, because of this nasty headwind angle. I'm going with a couple more rings over power than I'm adjusting into, purely because of the wind angle. So here you can see it's 1 ball of curl, 2.5 rings of OP, hit perfect. Great left with the extra mile is going to clip the rough, unfortunately. So a driver with accuracy but with distance and topspin is key. This is a pretty tough drive on a tough hole, to be honest. If you've got the equipment to play super aggressive, then you can do, but it is going to be a paid ball needed. Second shot from there, it doesn't look like you've got a clear view, but in fact you have. Here the difficulty is going to be finding a consistent place to bounce. There may well be a rough bump there. You can just see top right of my target, a patch of rough that sticks out. You would need a wood club with a lot of topspin and distance though, so it could be horizon, could be cataclysm. That's one you might want to investigate. But here this shot is almost really primarily getting it to green for a safe eagle, because as you can see there's some nasty trees in the way, so positioning off the drive is key. Mid +15 is what I go with here. It does need a tweak or two. Going to be tough to grab the albatross, but even in a nasty wind angle, there is a safe eagle on this tough par 5. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.